Welcome to Next Week Today in St. Thomas-Elgin. I'm your host, Kate Burns-Gallagher. We are so pleased to be back here at the Canada Southern Railway Station, and we're joined by Ashley Mason and Lindsay Massacre, the event hosts here at the railway station. Welcome to the show, ladies.
Thanks for having us.
So you are the incredible events team that makes sure all the events happen here on an ongoing basis.
Yes.
Yeah. Wonderful. Can you tell us a little bit about the events that are happening or coming up for 2024?
Yeah, so we have quite the list for 2024. We're looking at about 22 events throughout the year that we're going to do. So a couple that will be taking place here at the CASO Station. So on April 5th, we actually have a comedy night, which is actually featuring Joe Preston and Eric Johnson. So tickets are still for sale for that. So buy your tickets and come to support. We also have a couple paint nights throughout the year where you get to come in and create your own sign. So we'll be posting about those. We also have Dancing with the Stars that we have been hosting for the last 7 years. So this is our 8th annual one. So that will be taking place on September 6th. And then we also have a psychic fair that we're bringing back. CASO Station used to do it in years past. So we're bringing that back this year, and that would be taking place in November.
That's incredible. And so those are all events that you run directly.
Yes.
Right on. And ironically enough, it was on my memories this year, 6 years ago, me and my husband won Judges Award for Dancing with the Stars.
Oh, that's amazing.
So fun. And so all of those events help fundraise for the station and the railworks in general?
Yes, so all of it is fundraising to help with like the restoration of the building because it is quite old. So it just helps with the restoration of the building and that kind of stuff.
Great. And then on top of the events that you host, people can also rent the venue.
Yes, so you can rent the spaces. CASO Station itself has 3 different spaces that you can rent. So this is the Alma meeting room that we're sitting in, so you can rent that this space. There's also the Farley waiting room, which is downstairs, as well as Anderson Hall, which is our big space downstairs. And then we also have our sister building, which is the Elgin County Rail Museum, and that is also available for rental.
Great. So I know I had my wedding reception at the CASO Station. I think you helped out with that one. So what type of events do people usually rent the spaces for?
So you can rent the space for a variety of different reasons. A lot of our obviously most popular is wedding receptions. So we have a lot of people who do their ceremonies and their receptions here as well. But we have people who do birthday parties, anniversaries, retirement parties, celebrations of life. So we host a wide variety of events that you can rent the space for.
And how long in advance should you book those events?
If you're looking at booking a wedding, I'd say probably about a year in advance. We're already, 2024 is fully booked. 2025 we have quite a few bookings for. But then in terms of like the smaller little events, usually if you give us like a month, we can usually accommodate.
Oh, that's great. Mm-hmm. And Lindsay, there's a whole bunch of events too happening at the Railway Museum that you can share with us.
Yes, so this year we have a few events over at the ECRM. Coming up in May, we have a First Responders Fashion Fest, which is going to be very fun. So it will be a fashion show where we are having first responders as our models and showcasing local clothing companies. And we'll have a live DJ all night. It's just gonna be a lot of fun that night. And then we have a retro rewind dance coming up in July, and that's going to be an 80s dance, and we are looking at doing a video dance party for that, so a little throwback.
Like a Much Music video
Yes.
dance. Yes. Oh my goodness.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
we're excited.
And then we have Whiskey, Wine, and Chocolate coming up in August as well, and that's an event that we have run in the past. And that's just tasting local wines and whiskeys and chocolates from local vendors. And then in December, we have a huge Christmas event kicking off on November 15th. And that will be a Christmas market, a night market for 4 Fridays in a row throughout November and December. We will also have a community Christmas tree festival. And then live Santa and letters to Santa and hot chocolate and all the things. So it's going to be a really big, fun Christmas event that's going to run from November into December.
That's incredible. So almost every weekend throughout the year between CASO and Railway Museum, there's something going on.
Pretty much.
Where can people go to find out more information and make sure they book up their calendar?
So you can go to either of our websites. So you can go to our CASO station, which is www.casostation.ca, and then it has a list of all of our events. Same with ECRM, so www.ecrm.ca, and again, it will list all of the events that are coming up.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for both being on the show. And I cannot wait for a Much Music video dance party. If you're of a certain vintage, right?
Yeah.
For sure. Thanks so much, ladies.
Thank you.
We'll be right back on Next Week Today in St. Thomas-Elgin.
Navarro, a producer here at Rogers TV, and I just want to say thank you to all the volunteers that we have that put on our shows. Whether that's hosts in front of the camera or volunteers behind the scenes, we couldn't do it without you, so I just want to say thanks.
My name is Gracia Espinosa. I'm a journalist and I was born in Madrid, Spain.
Before coming here, I didn't have the opportunity to use the camera or to put the mics because I always receive the same answer, don't touch it, you are not a professional. And I was in shock because I am a journalist, so why I cannot touch the camera, why I cannot edit the video? For me, this opportunity, this experience, this volunteering helped me to be the journalist that I wanted to be all my life.
It's wonderful because they always want to help you and they always want to teach you. And that's for me the best part.
And welcome back to Next Week Today in St. Thomas-Elgin. We are now joined by Timothy Hedden of Railway City Theatre.
Rail City Theatre.
Rail City, no way.
Yep.
All right, just all Rail City Theatre.
Yep.
Great. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us about your journey to the Rail City Theatre.
Well, it started 23 years ago, around there, when I was inspired by a drama teacher that's about half a block away at Arthur Voden. Kind of wandered into a classroom that I thought it would be, just get an easy credit and get out of high school finally, and then I just fell in love with performing in theater.
That's incredible, and led you to start the Rail City Theatre.
Yep, I went through Toronto, did some film and television stuff, came back to St. Thomas, and I thought, I'd really like to teach and help the next generation of actors learn the craft, and so I started the Rail City Theatre and the youth acting program about 6 years ago now.
That's incredible. And where are you based?
Right now we're working out of the St. Thomas Community Christian School. They've been a great partner for us in letting us use the space. So.
And what kind of programs do you offer? You mentioned youth. Mm-hmm. What other programs do you have?
We also have an Acting for Adults program. That's kind of geared towards adults, obviously. But there's people that used to be a passion of theirs. It used to be something they wanted to do, and then life kind of takes over. You get the job, you get the kids. Well, then eventually you kind of want to come back to that. And so I found it was a really good experience for the first 4 that did it. And we're currently accepting registrations for the fall, hoping to get 8 students lined up for that one.
Oh, neat. And what kind of commitment does it look like for the adult students?
For the adults, it's once a week. I usually go twice a week with the kids, but adults, I know they're a little busier, so we do once a week, about 3 hours for a class, and that's all the commitment required. It goes for about 14 weeks.
And is there a production or a recital at the end?
So it ends in a showcase. So what you do is you'll work on monologues and scenes throughout the entire course. And we get them really polished up, and then you get to perform them in front of friends and family and whoever else manages to find their way in.
Oh, that's neat. So it's almost a culmination of one act or one person scenes?
Yeah, you can do, like, if you and I, for example, were doing a scene, we could do that. Or if you just wanted to do, monologue from Romeo and Juliet or something, you could get up and we'll bust that off as well.
Neat. And what are your youth programs? Like you mentioned, they're usually twice a week?
Yep. So we have the youth acting program. We're up to about 50 students now.
Wow.
It's really been growing. Something happened around 2020 that kind of threw a wrench in things for a bit. I forget what it was, but
Yeah.
anyway, we're good now. So we're back and we're going. And yeah, it's twice a week. With that one, you really spend a lot of time like building up the kids' confidence. That's kind of our main focus is, I like to say that by the end of it, they should know that they can do difficult things. And that's a really important thing for kids to know, is that they can stand in front of an audience and say, you know, this is who I am and this is what I've done and this is my work. And I've seen tremendous growth in the youth that take part in it.
Oh, that's incredible. And why is it so important? I mean, you mentioned about children being able to say, this is what I've done, but why is arts and culture so important in that development piece?
In terms of development, I mean, one of the biggest things that some kids have struggled with because of the thing that happened is building empathy in relationships. And when you're forced to look someone else in the eyes and do like a difficult scene or play through a character, it builds those relational skills. It builds their confidence. And if you want the next generation of kids to be confident young people capable of voicing their opinions and you know, literally saying who they are, then arts and culture-based learning is one of the best ways to achieve that. Whether it's music, my thing, or you know, go draw something, like be an artist.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why they've added the A to STEM, right? So now it's STEAM,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, we got to get the arts in there.
Yeah, definitely. So if people are looking for more information on Rail City Theatre,
Rail City Theatre.
and if they want to register, how do they do that?
You can visit our website, railcitytheatre.com/act.
Okay, perfect. And socials, they can find you everywhere?
Yep, at Rail City Theatre on Facebook, Instagram. We tried Snapchat, but it's a weird one.
Yeah, fair. Well, great. Thanks so much for coming on the show today. We really appreciate it.
It was a pleasure.
Yeah, we'll see you again soon. Cheers.
Cheers.
We'll be right back on Next Week Today in St. Thomas-Elgin.
My name is Joey Langdon. I've been volunteering with Rogers TV in some capacity for about 10 years now. I volunteer with Rogers TV because it is the best place to show local talent. I'm able to put my voice and my face in front of a camera and broadcast it out to so many people, and you don't really get that opportunity anywhere else, especially here in Southwest Oxford and Southwest Ontario, because you really get the chance to demonstrate your talent and work with like-minded individuals in the community. While volunteering with Rogers TV, I've learned that it's best to work with your producers because they know what they're doing, work closely with them. I've been able to pick up a ton of different skills, like how to best act in front of a camera, how to act natural in front of a camera and behind a microphone, and really hone my talents and skills when it comes to interviewing and doing play-by-play commentary for hockey, softball, racing, basically anything Rogers TV has covered, I've been very lucky enough to do.
This is a man's heart. A heart in desperate need of medical attention. But because 78% of Indigenous people experience racism in healthcare, he may not get the help he needs. Become an ally. Rise above racism in healthcare.
Welcome back to Next Week Today in St. Thomas-Elgin. We're now joined by Tammy Vale, owner-director of Nurse Next Door and also the president of the St. Thomas Executive Association. Welcome to the show, Tammy.
Thank you so much.
Well, let's start off a little bit about your role with Nurse Next Door. You're the owner and director.
Correct. So I am the director of Nurse Next Door here in St. Thomas, and I cover St. Thomas, London, and surrounding areas.
And I love your business because it is pink. Everything is pink, and you have that incredible pink car. What does the Nurse Next Door do?
So we provide in-home healthcare services, everything from companionship right up to skilled nursing.
That's incredible. And so It's in home?
Wherever you call home.
Oh, great. So if I have an elderly parent, would that be kind of who I would call, would be you?
Absolutely. So you can do preventative care where you're going in maybe 3 times a week just to ensure that they're eating well, that the household management is being taken care of. We can also take clients to outings as well as appointments and things like that, right up to as the care changes that we can grow with that client. So right up to around the clock and even palliative care.
Oh, that's incredible. And so you have nurses on call 24/7?
And we have companions, PSWs, and nurses as well.
Oh, that's great. So the whole spectrum of care.
Absolutely.
Great. Yeah. And how do people find out more information about Nurse Next Door?
They can reach out to our local office. We are located in the Elgin Business Resource Center, so they can reach out to our number. It's 519-203-2003, or they can look us up online as well.
And if you weren't busy enough running a care service, you're also the president of the St. Thomas Executive Association. What is that?
Yeah, so the St. Thomas Executive Association is a professional networking group. We meet here actually in the Elma room of the CASO Station on Tuesdays. So it's a group of individuals that we're all managers, directors, business decision makers within our business, and we all gather together. We form great relationships, friendships, mentorship. It's a really pivotal group actually for my own personal growth. I've grown both professionally and personally quite a lot through the organization.
That's incredible. And so who's around the table or in the room?
It comprises of all different companies from within St. Thomas and surrounding area. The nice thing is it's very exclusive. There are not 2 categories the same. So no, there's nobody else in that healthcare space. So there is that exclusivity to it. And it really is just about learning from one another. We support each other. Our meetings, somebody has a craft talk. So they have 20 minutes to present to the group about their business, what a referral looks like for them, as well as we're able to share just everything from staffing to succession planning to any kind of troubles you may be having or any kind of advice that you need, you can find it within that group. And I have to say that the relationships that you can form in there, they're second to none. We have people that have been there since inception, which is 1999. We're going on our 25th year next year of being in the community, and we have members that were there from day one, and they continue to come back just because you can really build that good relationship and rapport with your fellow business.
That's incredible
community.
For 25 years. That's great. Yeah. So if somebody's interested in becoming a part of the Executive Association, how does that work?
Yeah, so they just go ahead and they can reach out to us. Our email is office@stea.org, and they're welcome to come and join us for a lunch on Tuesday. We welcome visitors, and they can check us out and see if it's something that would fit well for them, and that's sort of how you start the process.
That's incredible. And how many members do you have right now?
So we're currently sitting around between 25 and 30 members.
Oh, that's great. And is it every Tuesday?
Every Tuesday. We do break for summer, but we do start from September until June. And yeah, we meet every Tuesday from 12 to 1. It's just an hour, but it's an hour worth your time, definitely. And we do have some social events that we do throughout the year as well.
Oh, what are some of those social events?
So we've done a few different things. We like to be able to utilize different places around our community. So we've done mini golf in the mall. We have a bowling night that we're doing in April at Heritage Lane. So we all gather together and have some fun. And we're also looking at doing a golf tournament.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah. So it really provides those connections that you need as you're developing or growing or maintaining your business.
Absolutely. It's support second to none.
Yeah. Well, wonderful. Well, thanks so much for coming on the show, Tammy, and talking about the 25th anniversary of the St. Thomas Executive Association.
Thank you.
We'll be right back on Next Week Today in St. Thomas-Elgin.
Buckle up. We're cleared for takeoff.
Here we go, boys. Here we go.
16 teams, one champion for the greatest trophy in sports.
You know why I'm here.
A time for new heroes to be born.
This is a guy who wants to get to the Stanley Cup Finals.
This is what I'm here for.
Stanley Cup champions!
I'm here.
I'm here.
I'm here for the Stanley Cup.
They've reached the summit!
I'm here to win.
The Stanley Cup playoffs. Here we go.
A
I've been volunteer at Rogers for almost 3 years. Volunteer for Rogers, it's good to have experience, to learn about how to manage the equipment, and yeah, making some networking. Yeah, I'm from Brazil, so I learned about hockey here in Canada and doing volunteer for Rogers, and yeah, it's a good experience for me. I like Rogers TV.
Common pine tree species we find in Ontario, and I'm going to teach you a cool way to ID them. First, we have the white pine, which is this tree right here. It's actually the provincial tree of Ontario. The easiest way to ID a white pine is with the needles. So each bundle of needles for a white pine come in 5s. And how do you spell white? W-H-I-T-E. 5 letters in white, 5 needles in a bundle. And then we go to our red pine, right here, that not only has a pinkish red bark, but if we go from our 5 from white, we go down to 2 long red needles for a red pine. And then the next tree is a jack pine, which is 2 short needles, like a jackrabbit, like bunny ears. And then the final pine is a Scot or Scotch pine, which are 2 twisted needles that go like this. So 5 for white, 2 long red needles for red pine, 2 short needles for jack pine, and then 2 twisted needles for Scot pine.
And welcome back to Next Week Today in St. Thomas-Elgin. We're now joined by Janice Harris of Harris Flower Farm. Welcome to the show, Janice.
Thanks for having me.
Well, you are the de facto flower lady of Elgin County.
People say, oh, you're the flower lady.
They might not know your name, but they know who you are.
Yeah.
Well, what was your journey to becoming the flower lady?
It's actually a funny journey because I went to college to be an optician, and I worked as an optician for quite a while. And then I always teased my husband that he brought me back to the farm and made me prove that I still had some farm girl in me, because when we were dating, I had wanted to do something after work. And growing up on a farm with my parents having vegetables, I wanted to grow something and do something. So one summer, Mom suggested I grow flowers and sell them at the Horton Market beside them, and at the stall beside them. So that year I jumped right in with 3,000 gladiolus, and we planted them all summer and then sold them at the market, and it was a great hit. Everyone loved having the flowers there. So we grew year after year to now our farm is about 6 acres of flowers, and we have flowers from usually about March until November, fresh flowers blooming.
Isn't that incredible? March to November with fresh flowers. And how many flowers do you plant in a year?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, right now, I brought some tulips with us, but we plant usually about 25,000 tulips in the fall. Sunflowers, are planting about 2,000 sunflowers every 10 days through the summer, and then about 2 acres of dahlias, and so just lots and lots of flowers.
That's incredible. So what's different about flower farming than vegetable farming?
Oh, I think it's a lot more fun. I think you can have more fun with a flower than you can with like beets or broccoli or something like that. But it's just growing them for certain purposes. Like we do the farmers markets, we do wholesale bouquets to like Briarwood and to other farm stand markets, and then we also do weddings. So those flowers are all grown on our farm, but they're all different kind of ones. So when we're talking to brides about their flowers, they have a specific color palette that they want. So we're growing for that, but then also at the farmer's market, you want them to be bright and beautiful to catch people's eye. So those are where our really bright, colorful flowers go. So they all have a different purpose, but we just grow a lot of them.
Right, and you mentioned brides. So if there's any brides out there looking to get their bouquets, can they get specifically what they want?
Well, when we're talking with about a flower, about a wedding, I don't necessarily say you're going to have roses and baby's breath and all of this in it, because we don't grow those. But also we're talking about a color palette. So it may be, I want flowers to be pinks and yellows and whites for my wedding, then we can do that for sure. And even when I'm meeting with brides, I'm showing them pictures of work that we've done, but I don't have a picture of what their exact bouquet is gonna look like, because that's when we're picking it that week of their wedding and finding the things that are beautiful for their flowers.
So each bouquet, if you're a bride, is absolutely unique.
Totally, yeah. And you can tell when it's from because of the flowers that are in it too.
How special is that? That's incredibly special.
It is.
Yeah, and thinking about special events, we have Mother's Day coming up, which, I mean, we're all thinking about flowers for our moms.
Yeah, Mother's Day is like Christmas for us. Sure.
Tell us, what's it like for you, and what should we be thinking about when we think about flowers for mom?
Yeah, just it's the flowers that we're growing are special ones because they don't need to be shipped. So you can have a flower that maybe has not a great shipping life, but it's one that we can pick and be beautiful in the vase. I'm thinking of like daffodils and that kind of stuff. That's not one that you're going to ship from the other side of the world. It has a very short season in our climate, and they're blooming, they're beautiful, and you can have so many different types of daffodils. They're not just the plain daffodils, so it's really neat that way. Other flowers like ranunculus and anemone, and all kinds of different ones, and all the different types of tulips too. It's not just one type of tulips. There's parrot tulips, there's fringe tulips, there's double tulips, there's all different types. So it's really not cookie cutter, it's not exactly the same every time.
Incredible. And if you're looking to extend the flowers for mom, you have events and workshops throughout the year as well.
Yeah, so through the summer, we have it that people can come out to the farm. Everybody gets a bucket and a pair of clippers, and we go and walk the fields, and you learn about how we grow the flowers, and then also you're picking as we go, and then we go back to the workshop and design an arrangement to take home.
That's great. So we can give that as a gift to mom to extend those flowers all year long.
Yeah.
If people are looking for more information or to register for those workshops, how do they find you?
On our website is harrisflowerfarm.ca.
Great. Well, thanks so much, Janice.
You're
and thank
welcome.
you for bringing a bit of color to us.
You're welcome.
Great. And that's a wrap for our show here on Next Week Today in St. Thomas-Elgin. Many thanks to the Canada Southern Railway Station and to Railworks for hosting us for these past 2 episodes. And remember to get out there and enjoy all of the events here in St. Thomas and Elgin. We'll see you next time on Next Week Today in St. Thomas-Elgin.
Connect with us by visiting our website or email us at comments@rogerstv.com.
Everyone wants to know about everything Blue Jays.
Blair and Barker, know what's up.
Over under an 86.5 wins. I'm going to go over.
What's the story on Blue Jays Central?
Jamie, this Blue Jays lineup has a chance to win a ball game. Should be a good finish.
Joe, it's going to get exciting. Let's get you back to the ballpark.
That ball's driven to deep left field. Gone! And the Blue Jays win it!
Only one network has everything.
Sportsnet, home of the Blue Jays.
Summer days, summer nights, lots of things to do, places to go, and people to see. If you're having a few drinks, be sure to plan ahead and get home.